Oh, hello. Greetings from Durban. Good job, Joe. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Joe. Welcome to the show, anybody else who may or may not be watching. Probably not. But yeah, it's November 18th. And yeah, a lot of stuff happened over the weekend. A lot of stuff in the news. A lot of interesting stuff. A lot of not so political stuff. Unless you want to go on the political stuff, then there's a lot of that too. But yeah, it's been interesting this weekend for sure. We had the John Jones fight. Finally, he's been back. I mean, his last fight was against Gunn back in, geez, I don't even know, a long time. Feels like it's been a long time, a couple of years. But yeah, he fought Stipe, and I don't want to spoil anything here, but well, too bad. He won. And now he's talking about the Aspinall fight as long as there's enough money. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what, where the next sort of steps for John Jones's career may or may not be. And yeah, we'll see where we land. What are you saying there, Joe? It's getting harder coming up with these cities off the top that are in the U.S. You need to come up with a little list. Jeez, there's a ton of Canadian cities you could use. Funny little ones too, even. And that would give me I'd get a kick out of that. All right, we're also going to talk about the Tyson Paul fight. That whole, I don't even know what you want to call that, buffering shit show, I guess. I watched it. I wasted 4 hours watching. I mean, some of it was okay. Some of the fights were okay. But the main event was just a dumpster fire. If you were expecting something, you got nothing. So, yeah, we'll talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about Trump's new appointees so far, what he's got going. Some pretty cool names in there. Some pretty, good picks, I think, all around. I've kind of broken it down the list of what would look like some of his repayment picks, meaning, he's going to repay loyalty or people that worked for him, and the other ones that would be more just solid, good picks for those positions. So we'll go through that. We'll see where we land. Also, we're going to talk about the last sort of, I guess you'd call it the last ditch attacks of the Ukraine on Russia right now. The last throes of that war, if you will. Looks like it's heating up a little bit right now. It's probably because they know that it's, this is the end of it. It's, it's kind of like the last flare up of a fire, right? It's going out, and it's just trying to survive. So we'll talk about that. Also, Roblox. If you know what that is, you should. If you don't, you're probably, you either don't have kids or you just don't know anything about video games. It's a very large video game for kids, mostly. And they're doing some changes on it to try and save kids from the pedos on there trying to talk to and mess with your kids. So we'll talk about that. And lastly, we're going to talk about Grant Cardone potentially running for California governor. Seems a little weird to me, but yeah, he kind of has been talking a little bit about it, and it's out in the sphere, so we'll discuss. Before we do any of that, if you're watching the podcast and you like this podcast and you like any of the videos I post, and you're not yet a subscriber, do hit the subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Well, not yet. So it's good to do it while it's free. Subscribe to the channel you like, and support a small channel like mine. Also, if you're watching, jump in the comments. I like hearing from you. Joe's in there right now talking about how Tyson blew it. Yeah, he basically gave 2 rounds. I don't even know about 2 rounds. He had like a round and a half, I'd say. Yeah, you get off Roblox, Joe. I love the immediate walk back. That was distasteful and not true. Good job, buddy. Hey, listen, sometimes you gotta make a joke that's gross. I make them all the time. Maybe not on here, but I make them all the time. I'm gonna keep playing. Yeah, you just keep playing, Joe. Listen, we got shit going on in Roblox, so you're not giving up. I've never played the game. I just know of it because I'm around and no kids. That sounded weird. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So, like I said, if you do like the channel, do subscribe. do all this stuff, engage with the content. That helps. That helps a small channel like this grow, and keeps Joe and me busy. And Robert, when Robert jumps on, and whoever else may. But yeah, all right, let's go. Let's just get going on the first thing, Joe. I'm ready to go. Let's go. All right, let me plop this up. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Technical. I'm doing all the work over here. I don't have a Jamie or a whoever else the other big podcasts have working for them, doing all their tech. So John Jones just fought over the weekend. Not really going to talk too much about that. If you watched it, it was a pretty good fight. It's a typical John Jones fight. It's a clinic, right? He runs a clinic on guys. He just kind of goes out there and, I don't know, he just exposes any holes they have. So, but he's after the fight, he was talking about the Aspinall, the whole, if you're in the fight sphere, you're watching this kind of stuff, you'll know that Tom Aspinall has just been all over social media. He's just been right up John Jones' ass to try and get a fight out of him. It's really fucking annoying, honestly. I find the guy very annoying. I don't know, something about him, something about his look, something about the way he talks. He just seems like a strange cartoon character to me. And the fact that he's kind of like he was a relative nobody, and suddenly he's like the next hot thing, and he's just all up in John Jones' ass. It kind of just irritates me. But so I see from John Jones's point of view, but he's trying to get a fight. So I guess that's what they do. They hype, try and create something out of nothing, try and create interest out of where there's not a lot of interest. But that's what he's doing. I'm going to read this article here. This is, what is this? MMA Fighting? MMAfighting.com. It says John Jones wants fuck you money to face Tom Aspinall. He needs me. So he says John Jones can fight Tom Aspinall for a price. UFC heavyweight champion recorded his first successful defense of that title Saturday at UFC 309, walloping Stipe Miocic in the main event en route to a third round knockout of the future Hall of Famer. If you watched the fight, spoiler alert, if you didn't watch the fight, he ended him with a spinning heel kick that was just, it hurt to watch. Probably broke a couple of his ribs. I don't know. I didn't hear if he did or not, but I wouldn't doubt he did. Probably ruptured something inside. It just caught him clean, left side of his abdomen. So just put him down. You could tell Stipe just didn't want any more fight after that. But it was a good win for Jones. As a promotion's interim heavyweight champion, Aspinall seems like the logical choice for the next fight, but Jones has frequently shut down the suggestion that he's under any obligation to fight the British star. During fight week, Jones went as far to say that Aspinall is an asshole, and that's why he refuses to work with him. He's annoying to me, Jones said. He's annoying to me, and that's my own personal. He annoys me. I get it, you guys find it entertaining, but I find him annoying. I agree. I kind of find him annoying too, so I can see his point of view. I just don't like him, and at the end of the day, if I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be so compensated. I want to say it. I want that fuck you money. Honestly, that's just what it is. Or else my life is perfect without him. I don't need him at the end, or I don't need him at all, and he needs me, and that's a good place to be in a negotiation. So he didn't talk about a number, obviously, but he wants it to be big. And actually, Dana White kind of confirmed, saying it would be big, a big number. So it looks like this fight's going to happen. I think Jones right now is posturing. He's saying he'll walk away from the whole UFC, that he'll retire and all this kind of stuff. He doesn't get the fight with Pereira because he wants to fight with Alex Pereira. And I don't think Dana White wants that to happen because right now he's got 2 stars, and if they fight, you've got 1 star. Kind of derails one with the other. So, and everybody seems to want this Aspinall fight. I shouldn't say everybody, but a number of people want this Aspinall fight, and I think it makes the most sense if he's fighting at heavyweight. He's got the heavyweight title. Aspinall has the interim title. You should unify the titles it should be the next matchup. If you can disagree whether you thought there should have been a interim title at all, but either way there is right now, and that seems to be the most logical fight. So I agree with the fight that way. I'm just with Jones in one way. He makes good points saying that this guy is the next up and coming guy. He's the next dangerous guy. And you know, and Jones doesn't seem to want that at 37. He kind of wants, he's almost 38. He kind of wants to just fight these, what he calls super fights, and, cement his legacy being well-known big name guys, right? So I understand that, I guess. And instead of taking on a guy like Tom Aspinall, that if he fights him and beats him, Tom Aspinall kind of goes away. You know what I mean? But Alex Pereira doesn't go away. Alex Pereira just goes. He's still one of the top fighters, right? So I understand his point of view there, but it's it doesn't seem to be the smartest business sense for the UFC at this point. He says, I just feel like anybody would understand at this point. Like, I'll retire the heavyweight belt if I have to. Give the guy what he wants at the end of the day. He's talking about himself. I'm not talking about Dana directly. I want to take what I find to be super fights. I don't want to fight dangerous up and comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous established champions. It's hard to fight the logic on that one, right? So Tom can have the heavyweight championship. I really don't care about it. My value doesn't lie in belts anymore. I created something bigger. I want Pereira. So, yeah. But it seems now he's saying he'll fight for a big amount of money, and Dana's saying a big amount of money it is. So this looks like it's going to be a go. I mean, it'll be it may be Jones kicking and screaming a little bit about it, but I think he's just going to go ahead at the end of the day and do it. And maybe if he does it, maybe there'll be a guarantee that he's able to fight. Or maybe this is kind of be the last sort of fight. He'll unify the belt. He'll retire the heavyweight belt, or just say whatever that he'll I don't know. I don't know how he would do it from that point. If he unifies the belt, then if he just vacates the belt, I guess then they just have another interim champ. But yeah, what do you think about this fight? I mean, I think it's going to be a good fight. I think that I just think John Jones is too much for anybody still at this point. At 37, I don't think he's old enough to be past it. I think he's probably, whether he's the greatest fighter of all time, it's debatable, but he's definitely one of the most talented, skilled fighters we've ever seen. And I don't see anybody beating him at this point. I mean, maybe in 3-4 years when he hits 40, 41. But right now, I think he beats just about anybody he fights. And PUBG or page up or page down buttons? No, I don't use them. I could, I guess. I don't know. Like, let me see. Never really try. But yeah, I guess I could do that. All right, whatever. Stop it, Joe. Stop making sense, buddy. I just use the mouse and mess around with it. I don't know. Like, I have to take my hand off the mouse, go over to page up, page down. I'm not really too much of a computer guy. Like, I use him, but I use him rudimentary. I use him one way that I know. You're saying he's just retired. He's like 45. I don't want to see. He's not 40, 37. He's younger than me, man. Even 45 would be younger than me technically. But yeah. Okay, 40, whatever. A whole lot of 40-year-olds that fight. Yeah, well, he just fought Stipe. Stipe Miocic is 41. And arguably the best heavyweight of all time. Like, one of the best heavyweights of all time. So, he's just done. When you get to that age, when you get to 40, over 40, it's kind of, everything starts to break down a little bit. I only ask about page up and down because I got some Coke on them and they seem like no big loss. Yeah, they are. I don't use them, so I'm not missing them. Put it that way. So if I've spilled Coke on my page up and down, I wouldn't even notice. I think if you play a lot of video games or something, you use that, right? That's the directional. That's how you move around. I'm guessing. Ken Shamrock's the best heavy of all time. Yeah. Oh, buddy, there he is. You're a little late, Robert, but better late than never, buddy. For you, it's late. It's technically late all the time. So when you're here, so we always appreciate you here. Yeah, we were just talking about John Jones and his upcoming most likely fight with Tom Aspinall. So that brings you up to speed, Robert. Other than that, Joe's talking about spilling Coke on his keyboard and problems. All right, let me get on to the next thing. get onto the dumpster fire. Okay, so if you were watching Netflix this weekend, you were probably watching the dumpster fire that they played live at 8 o'clock on Saturday, or sorry, Friday. These are my days. I don't know what to say about this, man. It was okay. So the event itself, the whole thing itself, not so bad. The first fight, it was kind of like watching two amateur boxers going at it, and it was okay. It was an all right fight, whatever. It was much better than the main event anyway. And then it progressively got better to then the worst. Basically, it was the first fight was okay. Second fight, pretty good. Third fight, the two women, pretty damn good. And then off a cliff. Tyson fight was just I don't know. I don't know what we expected. I don't know. I think we just got sold a bill of goods, basically. He showed a bunch of training videos of him moving around like like he's in his 30s, and he got out there and he did okay for one round. And I say okay, he did okay for one round. And then the second round, it started to drop. And then after that, yikes, just fell off a cliff. He just survived. He just looked either gassed or whatever. I don't know. That might have been the plan, I guess. If you just get in there, survive, and get a big payday. Let me read this article here. This is BBC Sport. Sublime to stupidity, 120 million witnessed two sides of boxing. Yeah, 120 buffering million. If you were watching, you know what I mean. Holy shit, man. How many times did that thing buffer? Brutal. It was it was uncomfortable, uneventful, and uninteresting. But should we be surprised? Somehow boxing has a knack of duping the public. We read far too much into body language and demeanor. Can be swayed by a slap at a weigh-in or live in a fantasy land powered by nostalgia. At 27, Jake Paul was young enough and athletic enough to see off a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, who was well past his best before the turn of the millennium, and maybe well before that. As a limited boxer, he was unable to get rid of a former world champion who had forgotten more about the sport than Paul will ever know. So the YouTuber turned fighter said to be wearing shorts costing upwards of $1 million and encrusted with nearly 400 diamonds kept Tyson at bay in a boar fest. The traditionalists who criticized the event have been vindicated. It's just a sideshow at this point. It's, people watch this because of Mike Tyson, obviously, and a ton of people, I would say probably the overwhelming majority, maybe 70% of people, were watching just to see, hopefully, Mike Tyson punch the shit out of this guy, but it didn't happen. He hit him a couple times. I think kind of inconsequential, but Paul says 120 million viewers watched it live globally on Netflix in the streaming giant's first foray into live boxing. Netflix later stated 60 million households around the world tuned in for Tyson against Paul. But this was still a poor look for the sport. Before stupidity in Texas, however, came the sublime when Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano battled out another classic. Irish woman Taylor, who beat the Puerto Rican in 2022, edged another close win. That was bullshit, by the way. If you're watching that, that's the female fight. It was a headbutt fest. Taylor just kept headbutting her. And deliberately, look it up, deliberately. She deliberately headbutted her the one time, for sure. Split her eye all up. And then he gave her the nod. I don't know. It's stupid. That's boxing, though. Like, if you've been watching boxing for any amount of time, it's 50-50 on whether they get it right. It's basically stupid. Netflix said 50 million households globally watched Taylor beat Serrano, and it will likely go down as the most watched professional women's sporting event in U.S. history. I mean, it was a good fight. Like, Serrano did a really good job of just, like, she put on a clinic against her. And, I mean, she's a scrappy little Irish woman, so she looked good that way, but the headbutts, I mean, they look very deliberate. It would be remiss not to start with the positive. The inclusion of Taylor and Serrano in the card delivered it on its promise to add credibility to what many correctly predicted would be a farcical main event. Very right. It was just awful. Honestly, I can't say it enough how bad it was. If you haven't watched it yet and you're watching this, well, I blew it for you. Too bad. It's really bad. Don't go and watch it. You'll just be completely underwhelmed. I don't know, disappointed. All of it. I was so mad. I was mad. I mean, the event started at 8 o'clock. The fight didn't take place for another 4 hours after that. So it was after 12. just so you're, I don't know, you're waiting around 4 hours for that dumpster fire. I hope that's it for Mike Tyson. Apparently, I don't know, he didn't say it was it, and they got suspended after. I don't know why. Some stupid bullshit why they're suspended. I think they've got to wait something like 3 days per each round or something stupid like that. And I don't know. I mean, Mike Tyson is obviously, he was looking for a big payday. He got the big payday. Good for him. Apparently, he said to Dana White at one point that he wouldn't get hurt, or this guy couldn't hurt him, meaning Jake Paul couldn't hurt him. So, I guess whatever. If you get in there and you can dance around a little bit and you can make $20 million, I don't know, all the power to you. I'll get in the ring and try and shuck and jive for $20 million. I'll even let Jake Paul knock me out for that. Shit, man. I'll let him knock me out for a tenth of that. What are you saying there? Tyson is 58. Yep. It's funny. You're saying that he biting his ears off. He was biting his gloves. Really weird. He was biting on his gloves, and they asked him about it after. Apparently, he's got some kind of weird biting thing, which probably explains why he bit Evander Holyfield's ear. But I hate female fighting. I find it unsavory. Yeah, I agree with you, actually. I mean, I'm getting more and more used to it now, having seen it more. But yeah, I don't like. There's something that gives me the ick about watching two women punch the shit out of each other. I've always had that sort of visceral ick. I'm having two guys punching each other out. That's different, but two women. I don't like seeing a woman all beat up. It does nothing for me. That may have made watching at least memorable. Yeah, whole night biting his glove. Yeah, see, so you obviously watched it too, Joe. He probably got suspended for showing his ass on TV. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what that was all about, but all right. He timed that out perfect. No, I didn't see the interview. I was so irritated. I basically turned it off right after the fight. I listened very little to a little bit more, and then I was like, fuck this. I wasted way too much time. Could have been doing anything else. I wasn't about to give them any more time. All right. Just like I'm not going to give it any more time. Get on the next. I'm not going to spend much time on this either. Last week, talked a lot about political stuff, and the channel just got throttled. If you go look at my views, just off a cliff. And it was funny. So I posted a short about the, you probably know this. I don't know if you know this, Robert, or anyone else watching, but there's this whole idea that they were missing numbers. They're missing vote count this year versus the last election cycle. And so I did this thing where I showed from 2008 maybe or something. I think, yeah, from the first Obama, I showed all the election numbers and kind of debunked the idea that there's missing numbers essentially because they were at a certain percentage of the counted vote. I did this thing, and it was actually, you would think it would kind of debunk some of that little bit of whatever you want to call it, misinformation. Well, the powers that be and the overlords did not like that at all. They throttled that down. I had it as a short, and if you're on YouTube, if you do YouTube shorts, you'll know that no matter what, you can put dog shit. I could videotape dog shit sitting on a table, just steaming, and I would get a certain amount of feed, of looks in the feed. Basically, they'll put it in the feed where people can see it. Doesn't matter what I put. I've literally pretty much tried it. I say literally with dog shit, but I've put dog shit videos out on another channel I have and gotten tons of views. Anyways, this one had they call them impressions. This one had no impressions whatsoever in the shorts feed. So talk about throttle down. The minute you talk about anything to do with election, the vote numbers, anything, it's it's crazy what they do. They just shut you down. So I took a picture of it. It was literally like 24 hours later, 0. Anyways, but so this week I'm just not really going to talk too much about it. However, now I'm going to talk a little bit about some of it. So here Here we go. So Trump has started picking some of his cabinet picks, which is kind of cool. If you look at this list is it's kind of like a who's who of business people, big names in politics. It's pretty cool, man. I gotta say I like what he's doing with a lot of these picks. Some of them, of course, not exactly not exactly maybe the best picks for the job, but he's basically repaying favors, essentially repaying loyalty. So here we go. I'm gonna put this is CBS News, so don't expect too much from CBS News what they're saying about these picks. But what I did is I took the list of picks, as you can see here, and I highlighted them. Blue means basically it's someone that he owes a favor to you, or would look like someone he's repaying loyalty from, and green would be kind of the based on that they would be good for that job. And this, of course, this is arbitrarily my my decision as to who I thought was good for the job. So let's go through who he's got so far. So White House Chief of Staff, he's got Susie Wiles. If you know who she is, she was his campaign manager, essentially. She was in charge of anybody who was working on his campaign and stuff. So he's got a lot of good things to say about her. So obviously trusts her and I think that's a pretty good job for her. But so this one would be blue green as well. But obviously this is throwing her a bone by giving her that job. Secretary of State, he's got Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio, I've got as green because he's solid. He's a solid politician. He's been pretty solid in the Republican side, and I think he's a pretty good choice. He does two things. I mean, he shows some stability in his cabinet, as well as I think he kind of appeases the party, essentially. He's got Matt Gaetz in as Attorney General. That pick I love. I think Matt Gaetz he's like a pit bull, right? So I think if you get him in as Attorney General, he can do a lot of good in there. I think they're going to block that one, but I love the pick either way. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. That was I think it was Todd Blanche was one of his lawyers. I'm pretty sure. So that's throwing him a bone. Robert Kennedy for the health whatever that HHS security, whatever that stands for. Great pick. Anything to do with health, you want to put him in there. UN Ambassador Elise Stefanik. Don't know anything about her. Looked her up. She's got a pretty good career as far as like she was a congresswoman and such. So she looks like she's probably a pretty solid pick for that job there. Border Czar Tom Homan, another solid pick there. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. He was I think he's another one of Trump's lawyers. So obviously that's going to be throwing a bone there. Secretary of Veteran Affairs, Doug Collins. He worked for his cabinet beforehand, I'm pretty sure. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz. Just another career politician. Looks like he's probably pretty good for that position. Doug Burgum. That's another guy. I'm pretty sure if I went down, I'm forgetting some of these, what they did, but pretty sure that he worked in his cabinet before, so that's another longevity appointment essentially. William McGinley as the White House counsel. He's a former, I think he was in the Army, and he's former military, that kind of thing. So looks like he's pretty good for that job. And then he's got a bunch of people. You won't know all these names. Dean John Sauer, if you know him, okay, whatever. But Kristi Noem, you may have heard of her. She's the governor of North Dakota, or South Dakota, sorry, not North Dakota. I think she's a great pick for the Secretary of Homeland Security, so pretty excited about that. Tulsi Gabbard, National Director of National Intelligence. I think that's some. These are like shake 'em up picks. Love that pick for Mike Huckabee, U.S. Ambassador to Israel. I think Mike Huckabee's probably. I put him down as blue because I think that's probably a bone throw there with Fox News, and he's favorable to Trump. Been favorable for a long time, so I think that's probably what that is. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy as the Department of Government Efficiency. I love that. Didn't exist prior. It's a made up job, but you know what? It's a made up job with a cool, reason for it. And two guys that are heading that up. Geez, man, you could put them pretty much anywhere where it comes to efficiency or anything to do with the economy things. Obviously, they don't have the political experience, but I think they could do really well in that. And then you've just got a bunch of guys that got in blue here that were just people that are either were on his campaign, or that that have worked with him before and such. So I mean, it's a relative who's who. There's a lot of names you won't know, but whatever. But some of these names are awesome, and I have a feeling that we're going to see some more shakeup sort of positions plopped into these open cabinet positions. Some of them are going to be blocked. I think Matt Gaetz is going to be blocked. They're going to try anyway. I hope he gets through, but it's just nice to see that he's shaking it up either way. So I'm a big fan of where he's going with this government so far, even before he's in power. So let me know what you think in the comments. Can't wait for next year. It's going to be politically wild, and I'm going to love every minute, unless things start not going my way. Yeah, well, you want to keep them your way. That's, obviously. Do you see even Dana White was talking about, because this last UFC event was in New York. He was talking about how like the atmosphere in New York has changed. He feels it's different. I don't know. I kind of get this feeling too that there's more of a unification going on. Like I think people are, I think it was a really good thing that, this. Okay, let me frame this correctly. I think out of a not so good thing of 4 years, the second 4 years where Biden took over instead of Trump, I think it is now a good thing, because now people see that they see the difference. They see what it was like under Trump, then they see what it was like under Biden. Now they're excited for a Trump presidency to see what he'll do in these next 4 years, knowing that he doesn't have a chance for another 4 years. So it's kind of like it's putting an end to an era, and you get to see now what he's going to do, kind of free of some of the shackles that he had on him before. Chrissy Nome and Silly are striking women. Yeah, Chrissy Nome's a good looking woman. Oh, and you're saying Gabbard, Tulsi Gabbard, yeah, Tusley. Not actually her name. Name's not Tusley, but you can call her Tusley. It's fine. This is going to be the best looking cabinet we've ever seen. That's for sure. If they block anyone, they will just call the House out of session and appoint themselves. Yeah, it looks like that. And then of course they'll just completely, hammer him for that. They'll be like, he's just a dictator. Let's hope he makes some examples of various malefactors. I hope so too. Certain ones. I hope he doesn't do anything. Just leave the Bidens alone. I don't know why. I'm kind of just like, just leave them alone. I think some of these other actors should be investigated and such. So, but I'm kind of like, leave the old guy alone. Maybe pardon his son. I'd like to see some good pardons. That'd be kind of cool. He'd pardon some people. Definitely pardon all of the January 6th people. I hope that happens like right away. I think it will. All right, let me go long. So it looks like there's sort of the last throes of this Russia-Ukraine war going on right now, with the looming end of it coming up as promised by the Trump administration. It looks like they're going to just try and kind of, get what they can, really go after, like kind of, it's kind of like the end of a boxing match, right? It's like round 12, you're down, you're losing, you're just going for a knockout at this point. So that's kind of what it feels like with this. It feels like Ukraine's up. That's what they're up to right now. So let me read this article. This is the BBC. So it's, take it with a grain of salt. Russia vows tangible response if U.S. missiles used against its territory. Russia says the use of U.S. long-range missiles by Ukraine will lead to an appropriate and tangible response. Such an attack inside Russian territory would represent the direct involvement of the United States and its satellites in hostilities against Russia, Foreign Ministry statement said. President Joe Biden approved the use of the missiles on targets in Russia in a major change of U.S. policy, 2 months before he is due to leave the White House. It is not clear if his successor, President-elect Donald Trump, was consulted or whether he will stick by the decision, having promised to end the Russian-Ukraine war. Ukraine has had U.S. ATACMS, Army Tactical Missile Systems, with a range of 300 kilometers or 190 miles, as well as French and British Storm Shadow missiles in a similar range, but the Western allies had barred Kiev from hitting Russia with them. Biden's decision to lift that condition is a significant moment in the war, which marks its 1,000th day on Tuesday. Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine on February 24th of 2022. Moscow has now intensified attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure as the sides appear to have reached a stalemate on the battlefield. Probably what's going on here. Didn't say this, but I'm going to say it. I don't care. Probably the same thing that was going on with with the Iraq war, where it's like, let's just blow up a ton of shit, and then let's get our companies in there, Dick Cheney, to fix all this stuff and make millions and millions of dollars. Heat it up before it ends. The U.S. decision also follows the arrival in Russia's Kursk region, where Ukrainian forces captured and are holding on to a small piece of territory, more than 10,000 troops from North Korea to help President Vladimir Putin's forces. Unconfirmed reports say North Korea may send as many as 100,000 soldiers in addition to artillery and other weapons to its ally. I'm not reading anymore, but this is where it kind of gets a little scary, right? You're playing around because you're heating this shit up. So North Korea is going to jump in there and kind of, get their forces in there to show their buddies that they're willing to fight. You're doing this all before a big change in power in the U.S. It's this is I don't know. This is weird. It's like, I don't know why you're doing this. It's like, it's kind of like burning the whole thing down to the ground before you're like, I got to give up the house, so I might as well burn it down. And it's just scary because you're starting to evolve. Like now you're getting direct involvement, or whereas mostly indirect involvement from the States, becoming more direct involvement. Now you're getting direct involvement from North Korea. It's becoming kind of a coalition on both sides, and we know what happens when coalitions start to get together and fight each other. It becomes one of those world war scenarios. So this one's kind of scary. I hope this kind of is like I said, just the the glowing embers of the last throes of this war before Trump takes office and puts an end to it. I don't know. Vicki Newland and Hillary are hot. Yeah. Hillary's pretty hot. Definitely smash. I just threw up my mouth a little bit from that comment. Let's hope the Ukrainians haven't got any nukes to put on those missiles. Exactly. Really puke thing. Yeah. Hillary's a dumpster fire. She's an old, gross, warmongering dumpster fire. So Vicki Newland's not much better. But there are some good-looking women. I mean, like it or not, AOC is pretty all right looking. She's a complete trash hag. Got a dumpster fire of a personality, but not the worst to look at. And then there are a few other people that they're in and around politics that aren't too bad looking. But and then you got the Nancy Pelosi's the world, and they pretty much look like they're just walking skin sacks of death. So I just saw the other day, actually, oddly enough, I saw a New York plate, so a car with a New York plate, and right beside it was a picture of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and then there was like some kind of whatever trans flag, I guess, on the other side of the car, and I thought, oh, maybe they're coming to Canada. They're getting away. They're coming up here, coming up to the Great North, where it's still progressive enough for them. Pelosi's an angel. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. Angel of death. She's the worst. All right. Let's get on the next thing here. Well, I might not go long. I'm not going to go long. We'll have good time for discussion after. So Roblox, the game that your kids are playing and the pedos are taking advantage of, has started to tighten up some of its security, if you will, on its game. I'm going to read this as Reuters, so don't expect much. Reuters is kind of a dumpster fire in themselves, but that's what they have to say. Roblox tightens messaging rules for under 13 users amid abuse concerns. Yeah, I wonder. It's been a while, man. These concerns have been around for a while, so good thing you're tightening them up now. Video game maker Roblox said on Monday that it's implementing new safety measures for users under 13, including permanently removing the ability to message others outside games on its platform. That is bizarre. Why would you be able to do that anyway? Like, the hell is that? The point of that? However, under 13 users can still message others in-game with parental consent. Gaming platform, which reported around 89 million users, that's crazy. Last quarter, said it will allow parents and caregivers to remotely manage their child's Roblox account, view friends list, set spending controls, and manage screen time. Roblox has faced claims of child abuse on its platform. In August, Turkey blocked access to Roblox following a court order as prosecutors investigated concerns about user-generated content potentially leading to abuse. A 2022 lawsuit filed in San Francisco. Wow. I thought they liked things in San Francisco. Claimed that Roblox facilitated the sexual and financial exploitation of a California girl by adult men, allegedly encouraging her to drink, abuse prescription drugs, and share sexually explicit photos. The company said it has also introduced a built-in setting that will let users under the age of 13 access public broadcast messages only within games or experiences. Roblox will replace age-based content labels with descriptors ranging from minimal to restricted, indicating the type of content users can expect. By default, users under 9 can only access games labeled minimal or mild. Mild. How about none? How about just like, I love it, minimal or mild. How about none? How about zilch? Under 9. These new restrictions will also prevent users under 13 from searching, discovering, or playing unlabeled experiences, the company said. Restricted content will remain inaccessible until a user is at least 17 years old and has verified their age. So, all right, well, I guess they're moving in the right direction. I don't think it's enough. I think this game is a little bit weird. There's a lot of weird stuff that go on in there. You should, if you're a parent and you have kids playing this game, should be careful. You should watch. As far as these controls and stuff they put in the games, smart kids are able to thwart or circumvent them. So I think this is just a little bit of placating by Roblox to say, look, we're doing the right stuff. We're trying to keep the pedos off your kids. When realistically, I don't. As long as the pedos are paying. You guys saying over here? I see a lot of throwing up going on over here. But at least she's got a rack to fit a 70-year-old. Yeah. Oh. Robert's just trying to see if he can get your tummy twisting there, buddy. Just imagine a Democrat harem. Imagine that. You just get a rail going. Got Pelosi lined up. I don't know. I'm trying to think who else. There's some other dumpster fires. What's that one? Waters? He'd be a good one too. How is a 17-year-old going to verify their age? They want to collect kids' IDs now too? Seems fishy to me. Yeah. Hey, listen. No. No IDs. That's racist. Not allowed to collect IDs. Why can't these kids make decisions for themselves? They can make gender assignment decisions for themselves. Why can't they make who's allowed to talk to them and, talk about their no-no spots? Ugh. Weird. We live in a weird time. But we're moving in the right direction, slowly. Bring me a bucket. There's a lot of throwing up going on. Hey, listen, we're moving in the right direction. Ships move slowly. Big ships. We're in a big ship. Big cultural shift happening. I think people are finally getting tired of their kids being messed with and bad politics and these woke nonsense, woke agendas. So we're moving in the right direction. Let me plop up this last. Boop, 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 boop. Here we go. So Grant Cardone, if you don't know who he is I guess he's a multi-millionaire. I don't think he's a billionaire at this point. Got a lot of money. And he's a big blowhard. He's talking about running for California governor. I don't know. I don't think it works for him there. I mean, I think this is his hubris helping him to do this, but we'll see. I'm going to play a video, actually. I'm going to play a video by Grant Cardone. This is the same guy that talks about making $400,000 a year. You should be embarrassed. He's got this video I'm about to play. And he's just a blowhard. If you know who he is, I don't know if he's half kidding most of the time or if he's actually legit on this, but let me play this video here. You make your own decision. Oops. Yeah. So, yeah. That guy's considering, I should say, running for governor. That's a little weird, especially in California. I mean, you could probably run somewhere else, but in California, that's kind of nonsensical. 400 grand a year, for one. If you make 400 grand a year, puts you in the 1 percentile. You can live very comfortably on $400,000 a year. It's more than I make right now, and I live pretty comfortably. So, yeah, pretty stupid. And then when Buddy said 2.7, he's like 2.7. You sound stupid. If you look up how this guy made his money, he made it in real estate. Okay, everyone knows you can make money in real estate. Trump. That's how Trump made all his money too. So he made it in real estate, but he made a lot of his money with this shit. Going around, he writes books about he's got the 10x shit. Oh, whatever. 10xing everything. It's easy. Just do it. You just do it, man. It's mindset. Just got to do it. You got to get outside yourself and do it. Now, there's a little bit of something to that, obviously, mind over matter kind of shit. But these guys, these blowhards that just do this and then talk down to people who are, who aren't, kind of bug me. Anyways, this guy would be your next California governor. Hey, you know what's funny? 1,000 times better than Newsom. So I say go for it, buddy. Hey, go get it. You're not going to win, though. Not in California. You got to be, at best, you got to be slightly left center to win in California. You got to be basically a moderate at best. And this guy doesn't seem like a moderate. But either way, I'd still like to see him. What are you saying? Oh, no sound. Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on with that. For some fucking reason, I knew it as I played it. I went, I bet you I got no damn sound. I meant to check it bore I started the podcast, but at least you could read it. Hopefully, you couldn't. Well, then too bad. But I gave the sum up anyway with the reading. Whatever. Fuck them. Fuck you guys who can't take a joke. I'll try and figure out the sound. What are you saying here? One can feel the shit. Oh, yeah, the new buoyant scent of the sea from the Trump win. California 9-card money dealer. Yeah. Yeah, he's shystery, very shystery. just got a shyster to him. I don't know. Like it's just fast talking, you know. I don't know. Kind of guys. Yeah. Something fucking snake oil salesman about him. And I'm sure, yeah, good. I'm sure he's a great salesman. I'm sure he can, he's helping some people, I guess. But I think probably the overwhelming majority of people that go to his shit, read his books, that kind of stuff, are not doing much of anything. It's not really helping them. There are some guys that'll, guys like this will charge up guys like him, and then they'll do something. Or gals. Need to leave the Phillies out of this one. He's like that devil priest with the mega church that you talked about a few weeks. Yeah. Kenneth Copeland. Yeah. Like, let me tell you about finances. Let me tell you about finances. You gotta buy apartments. Don't buy houses. If you don't buy houses, you're going to hell. Sorry. Yeah, that's another thing he says, by the way. That's Grant Cardone. He says, don't buy a house. You buy a house, you lose money buying houses. I know a lot of people that make money buying houses, so you're wrong there too, a little bit. What else can I say? Maybe, I don't know, I couldn't hear because no sound. No? If you say no sound one more time, I'm going to scream in the microphone. Oh, wait. All right. Well, listen, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being with me. As always, it's so much more fun to have you guys with me. And I see the viewers coming in and out. Gets up to 5, gets up to 6, and I'm like, oh, hey, some people might talk. Nobody talks. I might start changing it up again. Like I said, I get no sound now too. No sound. Again, no sound. Yeah. Anyways, but you guys make it fun. So thanks for joining me. Hopefully, if I'm going to change up a little bit. I keep saying that, but I'm going to eventually. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to change it up a little bit and try and get some more viewers in to the chat. And what's going to suck for me though is because you guys will be talking amongst yourselves and I'll be trying to jump in the conversation. But yeah, you're bad for the podcast. Yeah, well, maybe you're turning people off. Like, oh, fucking Joe's in there. Damn it. All right, just get out. No, I think I'm bad for the podcast. Thanks, Robert. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for being with me again. With us, I should say. No, I'm not getting a new studio, man. Not until I start making some money. There's no money in this, man. It's just nothing but loss. This is a loss leader for me. It makes me zero zilch. I buy all kinds of, nice stuff like, lights and cameras and, cameras and all this different shit. I got it's like a studio around me. Let me hold on. Whoop. I got lights over here. There's my subscribe thing. I got rid of it. I moved it off my bar. But whoop, I gotta move it back. Oh, I screwed up. Yeah. So until I start making some money now, it's gotta refocus. Until I start making some money on this thing, no new studio. Right now, it's just in my game section of my place. Yeah. Well, it'd be hard. You know what? Maybe I could probably write it off if I started talking about construction stuff on this podcast, and then I could say, oh, I'm, it's to get new customers, clients, whatever. But nah. Yeah, I am famous in Africa. Thanks, buddy. All right. Well, at least with one. My other channel, it's funny. My other channel, I'll say it here, doesn't matter because nobody's watching. My other channel is Agta Guys. That's my construction channel. I just do a bunch of like vlog shit and stuff like that. And it's funny because Tyler, who used to be in the podcast, he's in that with me, right? So he works with me there, and we just do all kinds of different shit there. But that channel, I've got, I'm approaching monetization on that channel, and I've got actual videos that I've shot that are like #1 videos on Google. Like you'll find them right at the top of the search. So that channel is doing better. That channel might monetize at some point soon. I'm just missing some of the watch hours. I do a lot of shorts. I like the shorts on that one. I do vlog shorts, and they don't count for watch hours. So I got to change it up. I've been putting more videos out. I've been doing these really stupid videos of these. It's a soap opera thing that I've been doing. It makes me laugh. Whatever. I'm doing it for me. Fuck, I don't care if anybody watches it. I'm doing it for me. It's just makes me giggle. So I've been doing those ones. But I'm gonna keep doing them each week and jamming them down people's throats. So maybe eventually they'll catch on. But for now, whatever. It's a labor of love. It's called AGTA guys, AGTA guys. But yeah, so that's the other channel I have. But it's I have a little more fun doing that channel in one way, just because like this is fun for me, the podcast with you guys. But that one, I do a lot of stupid videos on that one. So I just, and especially when if I'm just shooting a vlog, I don't care. I just take my phone out and talk about some nonsense and I just post it. I don't do any editing or anything like that. This requires some editing a little bit. Like when I'm taking the videos, I have to actually do thumbnails and all that shit. But, you know, it's minimal editing. But I want to get this to the point where this is more of a show. So I'm going to have to shit or get off the pot with this eventually and start doing something because, you know, 360 subs is, you know, small balls. I think I've just hit 3 years now. I'm pretty much just over 3 years on this. Yeah. And when I'm doing it myself, when I was doing it with Tyler, we were just shooting the shit on camera. That's why it's fun with you guys. But we were just shooting the shit on camera and it was like, I didn't give a shit what happened. Now it's like I'm doing it by myself and I'm kind of hoping that, you know, I can get it into something, turn it into something. And then, you know, but right now I'm just chatting with you guys each week and then posting videos. So, but we'll see. I'll make some changes, figure it out, make it a little bit more of a show, get a little bit more of a draw, maybe find more of a niche as opposed to being all over the place. How much, what do you mean? How much am I trying to make? What do you mean? How much? I don't care. Honestly, I wouldn't care about necessarily making any money as long as it sort of broke even. As long as if I was spending money on different things or like my time, because I do put time into the channel, right? So if I'm putting time into the channel, if that time was compensated somehow. Thanks, buddy. I think my thumbnails are good. Some of them I get a giggle out of doing them. Like I just did the one for the Jones segment. I did it before I started the podcast. I've got Jones as a goat. I thought it was kind of funny. I don't know. Like I just do some things that are like, that I think would catch people's. Maybe that's the only reason why I'm getting any views at all. I mean, people are just seeing the thumbnails and going, hey, shit, these are pretty good thumbnails. Sometimes I phone them in. Like if it's a topic that I'm not all that whatever about, I'll just be like, fuck it. I'll just put a quick little image or whatever. But the stuff that I don't know. I'll get an idea and I'll just make a thumbnail that's funny. So I spend a little bit of time on some of the thumbnails. Some of them I don't. But I appreciate you saying my thumbnails are good, Joe. Call-in show. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm gonna one of these podcasts, I think I'm not gonna do any segments. I'm just gonna chat you guys up. I'm gonna try and do a thing where I just kind of open it up to like a chat sort of thing and see if people will, you know, give me some input on what they'd like to see kind of thing or whatever, right? But I don't know. I'm not sure. It's like, you know, you're dancing this dance of I do this thing or I'm talking to you guys, it's cool. But when there's work involved with this podcast after the fact, and it's like, it's not like a labor of love, then I'm like, man, what am I doing this for? So sometimes I'm fighting the idea of just, you know, I stop doing the videos and that, but I just do the live podcast and fuck it, who cares? Whatever happens. But I was trying to grow the channel by putting the videos out all the time, right? So that's why you see that I'm not putting as many videos now. I used to do one a day all the time religiously, but now I don't care. Like if just putting ones out that I think are gonna do okay, or things I want to talk about. Like last week I did all the politics shit, being like, fuck it, I don't care, but it's gonna throttle, but whatever. I wanted to put them out anyway because I kind of wanted to get my political point across, but whatever. It is what it is. So we'll see. I don't know. For now, it's good having you guys with me. So you're keeping me going, and I appreciate it. And for everybody else that did jump into the podcast in and out, watch some and didn't say anything, yeah, thanks. But it'd be nice if you got into the chat like my friends over here. Want a few more in the chat to stir things up. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I'm going to see about trying to get some people into the chat a little bit. Maybe I'll just do something to entice people into the chat and try and get it to be like its own thing where I have to kind of jump in, like some liberals to offend. Yeah, that'd be funny. I'll lure some liberals over. Yeah, that's good, Joe. Yeah, I like being throttled. Apparently, I don't know. I like taking it. I like taking it in the ass. That's God. That's gonna. I'll bet you. You know what? If I ever get famous, right there, somebody's gonna take that and they're gonna use that against me. They're gonna look. He said he likes taking it in the ass, like that Ping Trip guy. You ever see that guy? He's a fucking wizard. He takes all the Joe Rogan video or the podcasts and he twists them. If you haven't seen it, Ping Trip. I got to do a thing about Ping Trip. I don't know. I don't think I have. Yeah, I probably haven't talked about him. Yeah, next week I'm going to talk about Ping Trip. Throw him a little bone with my my small, but sturdy audience. And Taylor Swift, eh? Taylor Swift deep fakes that will draw people in. She was in Toronto. She's, yeah, she was in Toronto last week, I think. So they cleaned up Toronto for her. Of course. Fucking losers. All right. That's it. That's it, guys. We're over an hour. I'm cutting into Tim Pool time for Joe, and I'm keeping you up, Robert. Guys, thanks for being with me. Yeah, I know nobody gets notifications. They are for sure. It is what it is. I don't know. Maybe I'll start doing my own notifications. But thanks for being with me, guys. Anybody else who's in and out of the podcast, thank you for coming in. If you didn't like it, well, fuck you, I guess. If you do like the show, though, and you want to support it and you're not yet a subscriber, do subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps a small channel grow. Also, if you missed any part of the podcast and you want to catch it in smaller doses as opposed to watching the whole podcast, you can check out the small clips I release during the week between Tuesday and Sunday, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can find them there. Obviously, share, like, comment, all that kind of stuff. The engagement on a small channel helps the small channel grow. So if you like the channel, if you don't like the channel, put a negative comment in, but make it funny. I like the funny negative comments. If you just put a stupid one in, I'm going to make fun of you or not even respond because I'll think you're stupid. But yeah, so do help us out if you like it. And by us, I mean me and my two friends that are in the chat right now. But yeah, other than that, that's all I got. So good night, guys. Thanks for being with me. God bless you as well. We'll see you next week. And for everyone else, yeah, we'll also maybe see you next week.